What's up, you guys? And today's video is going to be about what if Naruto was the last Uzumaki. So he will kind of be the last Uzumaki. So yeah, let's get into this. Oh yeah, and Naruto will also have Gojo's powers. So yeah, so it starts, so it starts with the usual, Minato and Kushina die, and but this time Naruto has a little sister. As no, but yeah, if you're wondering why am I whispering, that's because the fam is asleep and I don't want to wake them up. So yeah, so Naruto is in the orphanage as he has just been kicked out. Unlike Naruto's sister, Naruto gets blamed for having the soul of the Kyuubi. But for like Naruto has most of them. Naruto has most of like the Nine Tails chakra. Like Naruto, Naruto has the soul and most of the chakra, while his sister has 20% of the chakra. Like Naruto kind of has the bad side of Kurama, and his sister has the good side. So yeah, this is when Naruto is being chased by the villagers, and now that he's being chased, this is when he runs into a he runs all the way to an alleyway. No, not an alleyway. He runs to like a building, and this is when Naruto's sister sees him as she jumps in front of the villagers as she says stop, and that she says to the villagers that stop, I won't let you hurt my big brother. As now they say to Naruto's sister, her name is Naruko, as they say to her, no, move it, Naruko, that's a demon. He's disguised as your older brother. That's not your older brother. As she's still standing up for Naruto as she says, demon or not, he's my older brother and I'm not gonna let you hurt him. Oh yeah, guys, I'm still debating if I should let Naruto be the oldest or the youngest. So if y'all want Naruto to be the oldest, put it in the comments, or if the oldest or stay the oldest, then put it in the comments down below. So yeah. So this is when Naruto is now with Naruto as they're walking, because Naruto was able to save Naruto from getting beaten, but he knows that it won't last for long, because eventually seeing how they're adults and seeing how they're adults, they're not just faster, but they're also stronger than Naruto. Oh yeah, just to let y'all know, to give you a little backstory on the Uzumaki clan, the Uzumaki clan was known as the strongest clan, stronger than even the Uchiha and Senju clan. So that's why people feared them. So yes, they are still good at sealing, but the Jojutsu that they have, that's what people feared the most. So yeah, people feared that if they live any longer, then all these other villages will be no more. But the Uzumaki clan was like, peaceful, as they usually are. So this is when Naruto is now with, you know, is still with Naruto, and they are eating ice cream as this is when Naruto is at the Hokage office as she tells Hokage what happens, as she says, I will, as the Hokage, Hiruzen, says to Naruto and Naruto that he will prepare a two-bed apartment for them. This is when we have a time skip, oh yeah, and also the Uchiha massacre still happens, so yeah. This is when we have a time skip as Naruto, they have been beating him more than lately. He doesn't know why, but he knows that because his sister is always there, but is always there to protect him. They think that if they beat him up harder than they usually do and faster, then they won't have to deal with his sister. And even though they will beat him right in front of his sister. Like they will do everything to get her not to notice and to push her away from the crowd so they can just beat up Naruto. So yeah. So now this is where we are. So Naruto is now, with the rest of, the class as he is in. Hold on. So Naruto is in his class as most of his class, they don't really care for Naruto. The only one that honestly cares for Naruto is Naruto. And most of the people in the class, they like Naruto more than Naruto. So yeah. So Naruto is, so this is when, this is when it's a test, it happens in canon, everything kind of happens in canon until we get to the teams. This is where, Team 7 is of Sasuke Uchiha, Naruto Uzumaki, and Naruto Uzumaki. And they're kind of happy that Naruto's kind of happy that he gets to be on a team with his sister. So yeah, now this is where, everything goes as, kind of planned. This is when they mention Team 13 as it consists of Sakura Haruno, Sai, whatever this man's last name is, I don't know. And also and someone named Jay. So yeah. And that's Team 14 as their Jonin Sensei will be like their Jonin Sensei. It's just gonna be some random person. So yeah, just some random guy who doesn't really matter in the story. No, it's going to be FI. It's just going to be some random guy until I can find a Jonin Sensei for Team 14, I guess. No, I can't. I don't know if it's 14, 13, or whatever. I don't give a F. Okay. So I'm just gonna say it's Team 14, I guess. So now we have. So Kakashi is late as he is in canon, and this is when Kakashi tells them that he wants him to meet them on the roof. They all go to the roof. This is when Kakashi asks, okay, what are your likes and dislikes? This is when he points at Naruto first, she says that she wants to be the best Tronoichi and become the first female Hokage and the most strongest Hokage to ever live. And to also protect her older brother, to make sure that he gets the respect that he deserves. And she says that, and she also says that she really likes ramen. And she says that her dislikes is how they treat Naruto. So yeah, this is when we go to Sasuke, as he says, what he does say in canon, but his one like is, but he says that he wants to rebuild his clan with Naruto. Naruto kind of blushes at this, but doesn't really care that much. This is when we go to Naruto, as he also says that he doesn't have many dislikes, likes, but his only like is ramen and his sister, and that, and JJ, who is the Hokage. This is when he says his dislike is the village, and his goal is to not be here anymore until he gets the respect that he deserves. As Kakashi is basically thinking in his mind that this kid is basically thinking going rogue until he gets the respect that he deserves. So, that's it, and this is where we go to, when Naruto, this is when Kakashi says, okay, there will be a test tomorrow and things, so yeah, this is when the next day happens, as now we are at at Team 7's training ground, as Kakashi is late again, as this is when Kakashi gets there, he says, hello Team 7, as Naruto tells Kakashi to sit down, as Kakashi isn't really going to sit down, because why should he obey a kid's orders? This is when Naruto starts to glare a little at Kakashi, and she says, sit down. As this reminded him of Kushina, as he sat down, as this is when she hit him on his head playfully and started to ruffle his hair, and she gave him a warm smile and said, please stop being late, Kakashi-sensei. As Kakashi kind of had a little blush on his face as he remembered Rin. And this is when Kakashi sighed and said, fine. This is when we get to where Naruto is. This is where we get to when Naruto is at this is where Naruto is at the training field, as Kakashi explains, the bell test. This is when Naruto, he kind of already formed a plan. He already knows what the plan is kind of about. This is when, Naruto is... Alright, I'm just going to let y'all know this right now. This is going to be a spoiler alert for part 2. In the tuning exams, it's going to get real. That's it. That's all y'all need to know. in a tuning exam, it's gonna get real. So yeah, this is when, Naruto is kind of, is, Naruto's kind of like, he's smart, he's a prodigy. Naruto knows what, Naruto like knows, he's not dumb. This is where Naruto ends up finding Naruto as he drags her to wherever Sasuke is, and he drags, and he then reaches Sasuke as Naruto asks what was that for, as he tells them what the meaning of the test is about, and that and all they really need to do is, kind of, is, you, is, you know, team up. This is when, Naruto, Naruto has been saving up some money, so he bought like a tiny little blade, you can say. It's kind of like, the size of a kunai, but think of it like as like 3 or 2 inches bigger and longer. No homo. So now we are, so this is when Naruto makes up a plan, as he says, as Naruto says that he is, he says that he can use, that he has chakra chains, I can't say it right, I'm sorry, chakra chains, and he will use that to kind of like distract Kakashi. This is when Naruto starts punching Kakashi, as that will also be another distraction for him to be on his defense. Sasuke, you go for the when you go for the final blow, okay? This is when they all knock their heads, as they then do what Naruto said. This is when Naruto pulls out his chakra chains, and he starts, trying to hit Kakashi with it. This one, Naruto is able to make his chains grab Kakashi by his neck, his wrist, his 2 wrists, on both sides of his arms, and his legs, as he's kind of holding Kakashi down. This is where Naruto comes out, as she punches Kakashi in the back. This is when Sasuke comes out, as he then uppercuts Kakashi as he's flying, and he basically, knocks Kakashi up in the air. This is when it's kind of like this is when Naruto's chakra chains were still on Kakashi. It pulls him down, and Naruto hits Kakashi. But Kakashi didn't know that when Sasuke hit him, he also took the bells that Kakashi had. This is when, Naruto knocks him on the ground, as this is when the chains that was on like Kakashi were removed by Naruto. So yeah, as he then gets up and says, "Nice teamwork." As this is when he sees Sasuke gave Naruto and that he gave Naruto and Naruto a bell, as he says, "So, which one of you came up with the idea of this?" This is when Sasuke points his thumb at Naruto, and this is when Naruto says it, and then in a excited voice tone, as he says, "It was Big Brother Naruto idea." As Naruto has his hand on his head as he starts blushing a bit. as he thought, as Kakashi thought he's just as smart as Minato. So, so yeah, this is when, they've been doing some D-rank missions, because, they passed. And, at this point, this is when Naruto's like, he's fine with the D-rank missions. He doesn't really care. But, like, Naruto's style is fire. Like, whatever you can say, I don't know, I forgot. His, thing is fire, wind, and water. So yeah. So that's kind of it. This is when, Naruto is this is when, Naruto is at Lord Hiruzen's office as she demands a high ranked mission. This is when Hiruzen gives Naruto a C-rank mission, or what he thinks a C-rank mission is, to protect Tazuna, as But before that, he said that he wants Naruto to learn a few healing techniques, because out of all of Naruto's like fighting styles, he is also really good at healing people. So yeah. So before they leave, they say they will leave in about a week. So in the whole week, Naruto is getting trained by medical staff from the hospital, and also some like root envoy staff that Kakashi knows, who knows medical ninjutsu, because most of the medical staff didn't really teach him that much. The only reason why they did teach him is because the third Hokage told them to. So yeah. And the only reason why the root ninjas are, doing it is because, they kind of have no emotions. They don't give a crap. They're just going to teach him anyway. So they do that, and now it's been about a week, and Naruto knows about a few amount of healing ninjutsu. This is when, Naruto is then trained, as Naruto knows how, if like someone has a broken bone, he knows how to patch it up or bruise really badly, which will happen a lot while they are on this mission. And if like Naruto knows some broken bone things, some how to replay. If someone like dislocates their arm, he knows how to place it back in. So, and some regular like healing techniques. So yeah. So now we are on the mission with Tazuna, as Naruto has a med kit on his back. He's carrying it just in case anything happens while they're on the mission. So yeah. But Naruto's hair, it's like really long, like to his back long. So people kind of think, so when you look at Naruto, you'll kind of think that he's a girl. And his voice kind of sounds a bit girly. So when you hear his voice, you'll also think Naruto's a girl. But when he tells you he's a boy, he go, I'm dying at this already, because I can already see many people thinking that Naruto is, is a boy, but is a girl, but they're going to realize that he's a boy, and they're just going to be, kind of heartbroken that that Naruto isn't a girl and who is a boy. So yeah, back to the story. So, this is when Naruto noticed a puddle, as Naruto thinks, and he's, and he thinks that it wasn't raining yesterday. So, this must be some sort of trap or something. So this is when, so, so this is when, the demon brothers come out, as, happens in canon. Kakashi basically catches them. So now, and this is when he interrogates them, and about Zabuza and all that stuff, all that crap, that kind of happens in canon. The fight with Zabuza, though, this is when this is when Naruto is, this is when Kakashi then has something, a sword flung at him, as that this part kind of happens again, and kind of half of it. The sword, when the sword gets thrown at Kakashi, that part, yeah, that happens in canon. They all duck. But the fight, though, and this is when is Naruto is kind of fighting off. Naruto is watching as Kakashi is fighting Zabuza, and so is Naruto, and this is when he's watching Naruto and also Sasuke try to fight Zabuza as well. But they're also getting heavily injured while they're trying to do this. Naruto as the medic, they aren't just trying to, protect Tazuna, but trying to protect their only and one healer, Naruto, because if he dies, they're basically screwed. They won't have anyone to heal them. So yeah. But Tazuna is like being protected by Naruto. This is when this is when Zabuza throws a bit of kunai towards Tazuna. This is when Naruto then blocks all the kunais, as he then grabs some of them with his hands, with his hand kind of bleeding, and with his hands, kind of bleeding and all that, because he caught a kunai with his hands. But the one kunai that he caught, that was aiming for Tazuna's head, he caught that with basically using his teeth, because his hands was kind of full with kunai, so he didn't really have anything else to catch them with. So he had to improvise and use his teeth. So he caught that one kunai doing that. He spit the kunai out, and the kunais that was in Naruto's hands, he just threw them back at Zabuza. Zabuza easily dodged them, and the fight with Zabuza happens in canon, with Haku taking Zabuza and all that. So yeah, this is when Naruto starts checking all over. This is when Naruto starts checking all over Kakashi's body, as he bandaged Kakashi up a bit, because he was kind of hurt. And this is where he also bandaged up his sister and took like the things. I forgot what it was called again. I remembered it, but I forgot because my brain is dumb. It's being dumb today. Sorry about that. So now Naruto is, with so he took the things out of like his sister's neck, and patched her up as well, as all the way to Tazuna's house. Sasuke and Naruto has walked there. Sasuke was holding Naruto's bag and Naruto was holding Kakashi. Because, even though Sasuke was trying to prove his strength and all. Hold on, guys. Okay, guys, I am back. So, back to where I was. Naruto, this is when they reach Tazuna's house as this Kakashi wakes up and he teaches them how to tree walk. This Naruto getting how to tree walk very easily, like how Sakura does in canon. I'm not saying Naruto is going to be useless in this. He's going to be very useful in the future, and he's going to be seen as hated even more in the future. But you'll know that in part 2, maybe, if I can let it out. But, yeah. So now, we are at where Naruto is with his team, as he sees that his team is learning how to tree walk. This is when Naruto steps on the tree as he pulls Sasuke and Sakura up the tree. Like, Naruto is running up the tree and he's making Sasuke and Naruto also run up the tree with him. And them barely holding on. Naruto then stops, and this is when Sasuke yells at Naruto, "Are you crazy? You can't have let us fail. Just because you can get it easily doesn't mean we can." But this is when Naruto points down and says, "But look, you are standing on the tree." As Sasuke looks down as he's standing on the tree perfectly fine. As Sasuke then put his hands, he then says, "Well, I knew that, obviously, you dope. But why would you do it?" As Sasuke kind of has a little blush on his face that he just tried to help him. This is when Naruto kind of hits Sasuke on his arm playfully as she says, "Come on, Sasuke, don't be rude. He helped us." As as she as Sasuke then puts his hand on his head as he says, "Fine." Sorry about that. As he says, "Fine." This is when Sasuke walks down the tree as Naruto also starts walking down the tree. As Naruto says, "The reason why I helped you guys is because so that way we can get the tree walking over with, and start the road training." So, how about it, guys? This is when they all agree on that. This is when they all tell Kakashi that they are done with the tree climbing. But this, guys, is where I'm going to be leaving it off. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And please comment down in the comments down below, because I do not know what you guys want. You guys say it for me. Goodbye.